What are you doing?
Well, I tripped over a raspberry.
You tripped over a raspberry.
Or yeah, raspberry pie.
Oh, yeah. You know what that is? That is a gift from one of our viewers. Can you imagine how excited I was when I got that, Ratso?
How excited were you?
I was really excited. So, what is this about you being better than other stuff?
I'm better than a rat.
You are a rat.
Yeah, but I'm just not an average rat.
You're not an average rat? Well, what kind of rat are you?
I'm a good-looking rat.
Yeah, well, you got your chain, you got your Steelers. By the way, I'm not, what is the deal with the jersey?
Well, that's all the clothes I got.
Well, you need a new jersey, buddy. I get you a Russell Wilson jersey, but not a fan anymore. He's now playing for the Denver Broncos.
Oh, like Russ.
Yeah, well, they booed him like crazy. So what else are you better than?
I'm better than a raspberry pie.
Yeah, well, you are better than Raspberry Pi, but I do have one down there. Did you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
So what else are you better than? I don't understand why you're on this better than kick. So what are you better?
I'm better than Grandpa Jones.
Yeah, well, did you tell that to Grandpa Jones?
No.
Well, who else are you better than?
Rudy.
Yeah, are you better than Rudy?
He's a weirdo.
Why is he weird?
Well, he's like hanging out with dirt all the time.
Yeah, well, don't you get pretty dirty?
Yeah.
So what about Benjamin C. Bear?
I love Benjamin C. Bear.
Yeah, he's a great bear. So anyway, so I'm glad you showed up tonight. We're going to talk about OBS. That's OBS right there.
What?
That's OBS right there. It's free software, and we're going to talk about that.
That looks boring.
Yeah, well, you should stay and give your 2 cents on OBS and how you would use it to go live. And if that's okay, we'll get your opinion. You can show us how to do some stuff. And what do you think?
I'm out of here.
You're out of here? Why are you out of here? Joe does not want you to leave.
Hey, Joe.
well, so go tell Grandpa Jones you're better than him and see how that goes.
That's not going to go good.
Well, go tell him that you're better than Russell Wilson.
Okay.
So that's Ratso. Had a little technical difficulty in here tonight. Barely got him ready. Hey, did you take the Raspberry Pi? No, luckily I still have the Raspberry Pi. And hope you guys are enjoying the live stream so far with Ratso. He makes these quick appearances and these quick exits because he's not into tech at all. And so let me look down in your chat. I've had some technical difficulty during the break trying to get my chat up and running again. So occasionally I have trouble getting my monitors to share correctly. So I have my Wacom one, my BenQ monitor, and then my Blackmagic Design Extreme ISO. The input becomes a monitor as well, and I'm having a hard time with my PC detecting that particular not my BenQ monitor. It detects it fine, detects my Wacom tablet fine, but it's not detecting my Blackmagic Design for whatever reason tonight. And I do have it on the right channel, but we'll continue to see how to do that. So if you were here last week in the live show, I opened a whole box of stuff that Joe gave me. I used to be under Conjoling Technologies. Now he is under a new Tech for Fun. So I wanted to just, I never got into this last week. So before we dive into OBS, I wanted to show you what's in here. So inside this bag, I have a 5.2 volt, 2.4 amp micro USB wall supply, and that's compatible with the Raspberry Pi. That's in the bag. Let me set this down here. And then also I have this adapter that's going to let me put different card sides in, and USB-C on one side. So I'm assuming that that'll plug into the Raspberry Pi. So I am going to see if I have time to work on this week. And I had people tell me that they're going to help me here that are on the channel with me tonight. And then I have an HDMI cable that was in the bag as well. I'm sure inside this little box is the Raspberry Pi 4 with 2 gigabytes of RAM. And if you've never seen what a Raspberry Pi looks like, it doesn't look anything like an Apple Pi. I thought about doing a still image tonight of the two, but let me see if I can get this out of the box without breaking the box. Being stubborn. Let's try this side. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to open it up. So there you go. It looks like a little motherboard right there, and I'll pull it out of here. Hopefully I don't have any static. In the back, you have a CAT input, and then you have USB 2s, two of those, and two regular USB A's, it looks like, or probably 2.0, 3.0s. I'll have to see. And then you got chips on there, so you can actually use this as a mini computer. Probably will get some kind of little case to put it in, but it kind of tells you the raspberrypi.org, and then there's instructions in here. So we're going to put that back in the box. But again, thank you, Joe, for that kit. More stuff in the bag here. We're going to look at that real quick before we dive into our little journey of OBS tonight. So inside here, that's it. Put the bag down there. I have a USB-C to USB 0.2 adapter. That's in there as well. 2 wrenches. This is a Phillips. This is the standard screwdriver came with it. And then the adapter to go to HDMI on this side. And I didn't see that in the Raspberry Pi. So I'll have to find out how I'm going to use this adapter with the Raspberry Pi. Let's see, is it on the side here? Yeah, it looks like I have adapters on the side of the little Raspberry Pi motherboard as well. And this plugs right in there. So that's cool. So that's the first time I've ever touched one of those. I'm pretty excited. I will, like I said, probably order a little case and not keep it out of the case. And put it together this week. And then also I have a little micro SD card, and it is a 32 gigabyte card, little micro with the adapter. And I think that goes in right here. And there's actually a USB-C port as well on the side of that little Raspberry Pi. So just wanted to unbag that so that you guys can see what Joe did for me. I guess that's because he likes Ratso so much. I doubt that's because he likes me that much, but who knows? I think I'm a pretty likable guy, but that's a lot of fun. And I will look forward to getting on some of those live streams that I missed the last couple weeks with some of you guys that are here live. So Ratso made his cameo, my co-host. I do want to get chat working so I can pop it on the screen, but it's not. So I'm going to answer some questions before we get into OBS here, and then we will roll. And thank you guys so much for joining me on the post show using my mouse. Let me just use my phone. It is much faster. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Hi, Freddie. Thank you for being ready for the post show. Joe's here. Speaking Spanish, thank you very much. Ratso for sure was here already. Thank you for your greetings, Tony. And I will let Ratso know you're a fan. Keith, with your growing fame, will it soon be difficult to go out in the public? No, it's not going to be difficult to go out in the public at all. But I will say that I do run into people all the time I know. I just can't remember where I know them from. That is the blessings of being 61 years old. What does OBS stand for? Wow, that is a great question. We will answer that tonight. Joe says, yay, Ratso. Awesome, Ratso. Hank checking in. Good to see you again back for the post show, Hank. Good to see Tony. Good to see Joe from Tech for Fun. DJ Ware, great to see you as well. All these guys have channels, I believe, and you can go check them out. Hopefully we'll see Joe doing some more stuff on his new channel, maybe just some fun stuff occasionally. And maybe we can all be on a Zoom call here pretty soon. So if I don't have your email, it's going to be hard for me to invite you on that Zoom call. I do have Joe's now, Freddie's now. I do have Tony's now. So if you'd like to be on a Zoom face-to-face live in the near future, please reach out to my website and fill out that contact form. I would love to have people like Hank in that live as well. That would be fun. Jay from TVJ, I don't see him back, but he was in the live show, and it'd be great to have you guys all face-to-face. And that would be a blast. Well, thank you. That I'm a close second to Ratso. Actually, you said the other way around, so I'll acknowledge that. Okay, so let's dive into OBS and try to answer the question first of all. So let me just go here to OBS Studio. And if you haven't downloaded this software, I would suggest that you do it. It is freeware. It's open broadcast software is what OBS stands for. So, you know, broadcasting has been around for a long time. I had a chance to have a broadcasting license years ago. Some of you that have been on the channel or on the channel tonight have broadcasted or have a broadcast license. That's exciting. So this is now a online open broadcasting software. And I can tell you this, OBS is getting better and better and better every year. Every couple months they do updates. And I'm telling you, if you haven't experienced OBS, great software for free, and you can stream from it. I started out streaming from OBS right in my bedroom. It was great software. I could do a lot with it. In fact, in reality, I can do more with OBS than I actually can do with my ATEM minis and my HybridX. With exception of, I do like my HybridX shuttle because I can scroll up and down in a teleprompter, and I think that's pretty cool. And I don't think there's any way of doing that in OBS. But you could put something on the screen and scroll up and down on it by using like Word or something like that, and just displaying your screen. But in reality, I love that feature of the shuttle HD, and I've used it the last couple live streams, just haven't used it tonight. So, okay. So I'm going to go to OBS's page here real quick, and then we're going to switch to this multi-view again. Do I have my face cam here even live? Nope, but I don't need the face cam. I actually... What do I got here? What is going on? Please stand by. We are having technical difficulty. Okay. So my PC is live, and that should be, let's just do this. Let's go like this. Super source, we're live here. So I got OBS above me. I don't have anything in this window on the top left, but let's just go ahead and look at OBS. You have the Windows version, again, right up here on the left, open broadcast software. Here is the address to OBS. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. We'll cut back here. Let me paste this in the chat. One more time. So there it is in the chat. Let's cut back to this. So that's OBS's page. That's not OBS's page. Here's OBS's page. And you can download it for Linux. You can download it for Mac OS, and you can download it for Windows. So obviously, if you were going to download for Windows, you would just simply click on here, and then it's going to start downloading here. On the bottom of the screen. When it's done, you would open it up. I obviously already have OBS on my computer, so I am going to open it up here. And we will bring it back on here live. I do want to switch up a window here, so give me 1 second. Let's see. Let's do this. Gonna move me to the left here. I don't even need that. So let's turn box 1 off. Box 3, move to the left and up. Let's crop it. Let's crop a little to the right. Cool. Okay, let's go like this, guys. Sorry about that. I did not have a layout ready for tonight's live stream. So focused on that first stream, I did not have this ready for the second stream, but let me find out. Go up here a little bit, make this a tiny bit bigger. And we'll move me over just a bit. Okay, so this is a blank OBS screen. Let's go a little bit smaller with me. I can handle it. And a little bigger with OBS. Again, I'm just using the sizing inside my ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, and I can actually adjust the sizes of these boxes, turn boxes on and off. I can do 4 boxes on the screen at once. And so here's blank boxes. So this is what it looks like when you open up OBS and you're in this particular mode, in that studio mode on the bottom right here. If I turn studio mode off, it goes to one window. I like studio mode on because it gives me a preview window on the left and a live video window on the right. Now, if I wanted to go live, I would go up to File, to Settings. Once Settings opens up, I'm going to go to Stream, which is the second choice on the left. First choice is just the general settings, and you can go through here. I'm not going to cover all the general settings tonight. Your stream, you could go RTMP or go to these different locations, and here's all these locations. I stream on YouTube, so I would do YouTube, choose the primary server, and then I'm going to use a streaming key, and then obviously you would copy the key from your new live stream setup in YouTube and then paste it in here, and then you would go live. Then you have to decide what you're going to stream at. So you go into output, and then you have the ability to encode at H.264. The size of my output is 1920 by 1080p, but if you scroll down here, I could go even larger. So I could stream at 8K evidently in OBS now if I had the bandwidth, but we're going to leave it at 1920 and leave all these other settings at default. When you're streaming, you can go in here to recording and decide where you want to record. So if you wanted to record while you stream, now keep in mind that takes a lot more computer power, so be careful with that. But if you can record and stream at the same time, be aware you may create some latency and get some of your sound off. So you would adjust the audio settings and decide what bit rate you're going to stream your audio at. And those bit rates right here, and you have a number of tracks that you can stream. And then you can choose what you are getting your audio from. I'm always set up to get my audio from my Rodecaster Pro version 2, but you would have to decide where you're going to get your audio from. And then you have a replay buffer setting right here. So again, you can record and choose where you're recording. I'm recording under my video folder in my PC, but you could choose whatever destination you want your recordings to go to. And then it has a warning down here if you're going to record. Recording cannot be paused if the recording encoder is set to use stream encoder. So keep that in mind. That's right here. And then here's your audio settings. So you have 48 hertz set, stereo. Then you can go down here and choose your devices. It says right now that my device is not connected or is not available. So I would just click down here and go to whatever audio device I want to go. And I always would live stream from my Rodecaster Pro 2 main stereo. So I would click on that, click apply, and now I'm ready to use that particular device to stream. So then you have the video here. So you'd want to change your base canvas. That's when you're actually streaming. You want to have your canvas set up at the same size that you're going to stream. So I'm going to change this to 1920 by 1080p, my output to 1920 by 1080p. I'm going to hit apply, and now I'm going to hit OK. You also have hotkeys. You have accessibility stuff here and advanced settings here that you can go into at a later date. So I'm going to hit OK. And now I have my preview screen and my output screen. Now on the left are the different scenes, and this would be like a show. So if I was going to create a show, Keith's live stream, I would just go down here and hit the plus arrow and then type in Keith's live stream. And obviously the T is capitalized because I'm typing sideways, and hit OK. So now I have a new scene, and now I can add different features to that scene. So let's just hit the plus key, and let's say I want to go here and do an image slideshow in my live stream. I can click on that and create a slideshow. I can just bring in a background image, which is typically what you're going to do if you're going to do like a countdown timer. So I'm going to go ahead and click on image. I'm going to call this background image so I can keep track of what it is. I'm going to click OK. And now I can go through and browse what I want as a background image. I'm just going to grab one of these images that I got from Guatemala and one of the cities in Guatemala years ago. So I love this image. It's going to take a second for it to load. Hit OK. And there's that image that is ready to go. And I can size it because it is just a regular photograph. So I'm grabbing the top arrow by pushing down my mouse. And then if I hold shift or control, it keeps the sizes, and I can just drag and drop it. So whatever part of that image I want, I can size it, or I can right click and have it shrink down to the screen. I can also right click and then go down here to resize to output source. And I'm just going to leave it this layout right here because I want to put the countdown clock on the left. Now, if I wanted this to be ready to go live, I would just hit the transition bar right here in the middle. And now it's also over on the left-hand side. And as long as I stay in that scene, I then can have it on the preview side and the program side. So everything on the program side is live. Everything on the preview side is just preview. So the way I would go live if I was going to go to YouTube is I'd go over here after I put in the settings and the encoder and all that, and it's ready. I would just simply say start streaming, and it would go live on YouTube if I had the key and all that programmed in. And my computer now would be doing the streaming, the encoding, and it would be going out through my internet right here in the house. So you need to have a good, strong internet. The next thing I always would want if I was going live would be like a countdown clock to give people a chance to get on live with me. And so I would just leave this image up there with my camera off the air, and then I would go live. But let's go down here and add a camera. So let's go here, hit the plus sign on the bottom to add another source. And then you can see I have at the top, I have application audio. That's a beta feature. I have audio input capture, audio output capture, Blackmagic devices. If I was going to bring in my ATEM or my cameras from my ATEM, I would choose that. I can bring a browser in from my computer, my PC or my Mac, a color source if I just want a color, a display capture if I just want to capture my display, a game capture if I'm a gamer, image, which we just did, slideshow we did, a media source, scenes, text, VLC video source. That's a VLC downloadable video playing software, and then I can then bring those videos into my live stream. So I don't need a HyperDeck. I can play videos right through the VLC source. So just download the VLC player, and then you'll be able to bring in that VLC plugin into OBS, and then you can actually play it inside your live stream. A video capture device, which is what we're going to do now. So I'm going to click on that. Let's call this Insta360 link. Hit enter. Don't need black magic. Let's go down here and see the link. Let's click OK. And then we are going to get out of OBS. It seems like I have to reboot anytime I want to add a web camera. So I'm going to try rebooting here, OBS, and then I'll bring it back up again. And then I'll go back in the chat here in a minute. And still no camera. Let's see what is going on here. So let's configure camera. Should be live. Oh, it looks like it quit up there. So let's see if the camera is live. Insta360, it is live. Let's turn it off here. Remember where those settings are. There it is. So maybe it'll pop up in OBS now. Minimize that. Let's reboot again. Lovely. Live, and we can't get the instant 360 camera to come in OBS. Launch OBS again. Hopefully this is going to work. I noticed my camera just shut down. There we go. So sometimes to get cameras to work, keep that in mind. You have to be able to reboot. Let me see if I can get it to see my hand signal here. Okay, now I got it face tracking. So now I have a camera in OBS. So let's make this a little bit smaller. So you go down here and make sure the unlock button is off right here under sources, and it's off. And now I can click on it, grab the box on the side, and I can make this just a smaller camera here. Let's put it in the bottom left-hand corner. And then now we're going to add a text string. We're going to call this timer count down Keith. Click OK. We're going to type in the text here. Count down Keith. And we're going to change the font to Impact, which just is a better, larger font. And I'm going to scroll down here to Impact. And I'll show you guys in a second where that was. HI. We'll go to like 72 here for now. Oh, let's go like that. Click OK. We're going to center this now. You grab it. And pull it down. So we're going to do the timer right about here. Again, we're going to double click on that. I want to change the color. So here's where you change the font, select font. But if I go down here to color, select color, and click on select color, I'm going to just go, let's just go a yellow close to my channel colors. And click select color. Okay, then I'm going to add an outline. Down here is outline. Click on outline. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger than this. I don't really want white. I want black. So I'm going to click color again. This time I'm going to click black for my outline color. There we go. And then now what I want to do is I want to go up here to Tools. I'm going to click on Scripts. And you want to download, if you haven't already, this Countdown LUE script. And then you need to tell it what you want it to apply to. So I don't want new live countdown. I want to find my new countdown timer. I think it was, what was it called? Countdown timer. No, it should be Keith. Let's see if that's it. We'll make it 3 minutes. I want it to say, go Ratso. When it's done, click close. And let's run this over and see what happens. It's not counting down. So again, I gotta reboot. For some reason, when you create a countdown timer, you have to reboot for your countdown timer text to be in the list. So I'm gonna reboot OBS. Again, free software. These are just some of the things you have to do to get things working. Once they're working, I never really have an issue when I'm live. So now let's go back up here. Let's go to Tools. Let's go to Scripts. Let's now see if we can find it. Timer countdown Keith, it's on the bottom of the list. And there we go. It's now counting down. And then if I hold down Alt and that left little box on the side of the countdown timer, and as I click on that box and Alt at the same time, I can shrink it down so you only see the two. And there's my countdown timer. So this could be a background that's playing with a sky cam as you're counting down the go live. And then once you go live, you would then want to go to a different still image, have a different scene set up so that you could then cut to full screen camera, have maybe a different web camera because obviously I have this set up as a sky cam. You would want a camera right on you, or just not use this one camera layout right here and only use the countdown like this, and then bring your live feed on. So I can obviously bring my camera over here in the preview screen and have it set up like this with the background behind me. Holding down Control, it sizes it right. And then once the countdown timer is over, I'm going to turn the little eyeball off so that when, I want to leave that eyeball on, but I'm going to turn the countdown timer eyeball off. And then as soon as it's time for me to go live, I will do a transition and basically go, well, thank you for joining me. So that's a quick look at OBS for setting up a background image, your Instant 360 link camera, making sure your frame size, both for your preview and your program, is right. And then obviously you would bring in audio, and right here in the audio section, but you got to make sure that you have a audio device set up. And we're going to take some questions and we'll come back to this here in a second. So back to this view, and let's just see if you guys have any comments or questions that you would like to bring up right now about OBS. So let me go through my phone here. It's faster. Ratso should host a short to promote the live stream. That's a great idea. Thank you, Tony. I will use that. Joe is writing the jingle now. That's cute, Joe. I'd love to hear it. Good to have you back, TVJ, in the post show. I was talking about you a few minutes ago. I will try to attend one of your live streams. So TVJ used OBS to go live yesterday. So he said, never update it before a live stream. I totally agree. You definitely want to update it on an off day, play with it, make sure everything is still working right before you do an update. But I do like the new look. It's pretty cool. So you had to rebuild your scenes. I understand that. I'm rebuilding a scene right now for us live, and there's lots of cool features in here. Like I said, I love that you can play videos using the VLC plugin. I love the fact that you can play videos from a web browser if you wanted to. Just be reminded that's a little harder to control. I like using the VLC plugin. I love the fact that you can do slideshows and just use your space bar, I believe, to go to the next slide, or your right and left arrow. That's a great feature. We're going to build a slideshow here in a few minutes. Yeah, and again, remember that if you're going to stream the laptop or the PC or the Macintosh, whatever you have, using OBS, it becomes the encoder. And what is encoding? Encoding is taking whatever you're displaying on the screen and creating it encoding it, usually H.264. That's just a compression. And that is then what's going to be streamed up. So your PC or laptop has to encode it, right? Render it into a streamable file, and then it has to stream it up to the web at the same time, play videos and all that you're doing live, including bring in your cameras. That takes, web cameras take up PC power. And if you're using a cam link, I think I have my cam link usually in my drawer here. It's great sound effects. So cam link, the cam link's great because you can take a regular DSLR. I'll grab out of Joe's little bag of goodies this HDMI cable, and it's got USB-C on one side, HDMI on the other side, and this is by Elgato, and I can plug this now directly into my PC and the other side into my camera. Obviously, this is the right HDMI for like a Blackmagic camera, but you would need a medium size HDMI end if you want to plug it in, or an adapter into my Canon cameras. And even like a micro, a lot of the Sony cameras people are using have micro HDMIs. But now I can bring a traditional DSLR in to OBS as well. And that's how I started using this cam link. That's why I own it. And it's a great tool. It will actually take a 4K camera and bring that into your computer. And then you could stream 4K if you have the bandwidth for your internet speed and you have a very fast computer. And I do. I have an i9 laptop with 32 gigs of RAM and a high-end video card. And I can go up 50 megapixels if I wanted to in my internet, but I don't ever test it at that. And then I also have a PC that's got an i9 processor and even a faster video card in it. It should be able to process, encode OBS as well. So I never really had any issues, but make sure you have a fast enough computer if you're going to do that live. Because again, I like ATEM Mini Pros, ATEM Mini Pro ISOs, ATEM Mini Pro Extreme and Extreme ISO, because they do all the encoding inside the box. They also stream. So everything's done inside that ATEM. All you use your PC for is, like I was tonight, bringing in a Skycam from a PC and a Skycam or a webcam from my my laptop. And then you could also use it to show your desktop. You could use it to play videos and not have to buy a HyperDeck. But I also use the HyperDecks here in my studio, which again, that's a broadcast deck. It's designed to play graphics. If I show you my subscribe logo, this is playing from my HyperDeck right there. And I'm using a key to make it transparent. And all that's playing in my HyperDeck. And when it's done, I have it fade out using a macro. And so it comes on the air and off the air. I don't have to use my PC for that. I'm using a HyperDeck. So I could take my show on the road and not even have to have a PC. I would probably take my iPad so I can use the macro buttons in Adam Tao's Mix Effect app. But imagine taking that as well as your ATEMs out somewhere, plugging into an Ethernet cable and having HyperDeck so you can do all of that stuff live. Obviously, you would take a monitor with you or maybe 2 monitors so you can be able to see what you're switching and see your multi-view and all that. So I love that. Enough on that. Okay, how does the audio work in OBS? Let's cut back to this other view. So these are audio mixers right here. So if you go over to settings on the right-hand side, and then you go to audio, here are all of the things currently coming in. So I have desktop audio 1, I have desktop audio 2, and as you scroll down here, I have meters I can set up. I can create hotkeys down here for audio. So I could use something like Stream Deck to mute and unmute channels by doing this, or I could just use shortcuts on my keyboard. But the way you bring audio in is the first thing you're going to want to do is create your desktop audio input, which right now, because I'm using my Rodecaster Pro to come into my ATEM, and I'm going through my HOSA switch, I don't want to mess up the audio, but I can show you audio coming in if I go to a different setup. But I would use my Rodecaster Pro right there, and then I'd hit OK. And then you have to go into those channels. So let's go into settings again. Let's see, not there. It is right here. You go to the right and click on this and go into advanced properties. You've got to turn these on. So desktop audio has to be on monitor and audio output. And Instant 360 has a microphone as well. I could turn that on, monitor only, or monitor and output. So I'll turn that on. And then I'm gonna hit close. And I probably have to reboot here. I'm not getting audio settings. Let's go with my Instant 360 here. Let's get it back in the right view here. Shut that again. Okay, so let's try to get this tracking again. Cool. So I'm not getting any audio. So again, I'm going to reboot and restart for whatever reason I'm going to. I may have to go into the master settings here and double check the audio. I have my scene set up all the time. I rarely go in here and set up a new scene, but I wanted to talk about it tonight in our live stream. I'm going to cancel this, hit OK, cancel, and I still do not have any Insta360 audio or any desktop audio. So let's go into the settings, properties, got my Rodecaster Pro. Oh, I don't have my output up. So let's see. I think it's this one right here. Testing, testing, note. That one. That one. Testing, testing. Yeah, that's because I run my audio through my HOSA and I switch over. So I should get audio if I do this real quick. And I just get feedback in the studio. It's the way I have my studio wired. So I run my audio through another channel in my HOSA, and it doesn't go to my PC when I'm doing that. So, but you would bring your source in right here under audio, and then you have a volume. You can mute, and you can have these on or off. You can mute them right here. But for some reason right now, I'm not getting any audio. And I may, like I said, I may have to reboot my PC or my laptop in order to get the audio. Let's just go and double check the settings under audio. That is on. Don't need desktop number 2. Advanced. So let me go over here. Check. Yeah, I'm not even getting it in my normal weekly live setup. So for some reason, audio isn't working, but all you have to do is set up the audio in OBS and then it'll work. Because I'm running everything into my A10 Mini Extreme ISO, I'm not set up right now to be using my USB-C into OBS. I apologize. I'm using my mixer just as a mixer and running the audio out of the outputs right directly into my Extreme ISO, and I'd have to change the settings and you'd lose my live voice if I change that right now in the middle of the live stream. So let's go ahead and look at a slideshow. Let me see if there's any other questions. Apologize, Joe, for not getting more into audio. Maybe in a new future video, I will set it up differently so that I can do both. But yeah, you have different filters inside the audio settings, and there's plugins that you can use. That would be all inside here, advanced. Let's see, filters right here. And then you could add plugins right here. Compressor. So I can add a compressor. I can go down here, hit plus, add an expander. I can go down here and add gain adjustments. I can go down here, hit plus, and invert. I can make set up a limiter. And so limit that at -6. I can go down here at plus and bring in a noise gate. Again, set that up so you're not getting any background hiss or hum. Can go down there, hit plus, and bring in a VST plugin. That would be like if you used to use Pro Tools and you had a bunch of plugins that you purchased, you can bring in those plugins, high-end plugins, and you can bring those right in directly into OBS as well. You'd have to have those loaded into your computer, and I don't use plugins anymore. I do all my audio mixing either in my Rodecaster Pro for live, or I use Adobe Audition and the plugins inside it. And it has some amazing plugins. That's part of the Adobe Premiere Suite, or the Adobe Suite. And that Adobe Audition has some amazing plugins. They've been purchasing up some of these VST plugins over time. They even have the famous loudness radar. I think, let's see, Photo Joseph just talked about it on his channel. I owned the software to be able to have that radar. And it's just really cool because sound looks like a radar screen, and you can really see the highs and the lows because it actually is like a color map in the round. That's actually built into Adobe Audition as a plugin. You don't have to buy that plugin. If you have Adobe Audition, you already have it, and you could run your audio through Adobe Audition and add all those plugins before you bring it into a live stream as well, because Adobe Audition also functions like Pro Tools, GarageBand, Studio One, like those plugins as well. So you can use those from your computer because, again, OBS is streaming from your computer. So, okay, so that's how you bring in audio plugins. Why I'm not getting audio, I don't know. But you could bring all those plugins on whatever audio channel you want so that you could get a better quality audio. Okay. Not 50 megabytes or 50 megapixels, 50 megabyte internet. Thank you for that correction, Joe. I appreciate it. I must have said the wrong thing live. Who would have thunk it? Okay. Can you utilize a graphics card to take some of the load off the CPU? I don't know if you can or not with OBS. That's a question I don't have the answer to. I would think you could if it's built in, so we would have to check on that. I'll have to get an answer to that and answer that next week, Joe. Let's see, you have a jingle above. The rat that smiles back works with black magic. His teeth are controlled by Keith, not with mix effects, but by hand behind his chest. Did you have a tune to this, Joe? Is it like a rap? a rat rap? You're hilarious. I need the soundtrack for that rap. We'll call it the Ratso Rat Rap. Pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to go back over here, bring OBS on the screen. We are going to open up a slideshow. So we're going to do an image slideshow. We're going to call it image slideshow. It's fine. Then I can go down here and bring in all these images. So we're going to go ahead and add a bunch of images, add some files. Let's go back into that same bin. Backgrounds. Let's go ahead and add some of these in. I selected them all. And hit OK. Depending on what size the pictures are, you are going to have to make some changes. But there's my slideshow playing, and if you made it small enough, then you could be showing these slides, and you can set the timer on how fast you want these slides to go. You can fade them. There's all these different features. You can go automatic, or you could go manual mode. I have it automatic right now. I can loop it. I can hit hide when the slideshow is done. I can do random playback by clicking that. So we'll click OK, and it's just going to randomly play on the left-hand side. And then if I want my picture on top of it, then I just got to slide it below my picture and then fire my picture back up. And now I could actually have a slideshow playing in the background while I'm live, and then hit the transition. And now I'm on the other side as well. And if I wanted to use my countdown timer, I could transition over, and that countdown timer is going to start again. And so I could change the speed of that slideshow. So I just like some of these options to bring things in. So I could do a browser. Bring a browser in. So let's go ahead and bring in my website. Copy. Go back to OBS. That's fine. We'll just leave it like that. So now I've got my website here. And I can change the sizes of this in the browser setting. So let's go 1920 by 1080. Then we're going to size this down. So I could make my own super source layout if I wanted to. There you go. I have my website there, as well as I have my image there in my SkyCam. And so I have a super source layout here from my ATEM. And then I also have a super source layout here as well. Now, if you're going to cast this to another screen in your studio, or like bring it into your Blackmagic Design ATEM, you would right click on the program screen, and then you would go full screen and choose where you want it to go. Now, if I was sharing this laptop with all of the monitors, including my ATEM, then I would have a choice up here to screencast full to my ATEM Blackmagic Design, but I don't have it up here. I'm not sharing it that way, but you can share all your screens to all your monitors, including the HDMI coming out of your PC to your ATEM, and then it will see it as another monitor, and then you can actually display that screen in the middle of your live stream. So I love the fact that you can do a slideshow in the background. If you don't want your slideshow on anymore, turn your background image on, and now you have a super source. So you can do a lot of the things that you could only do with a Blackmagic Design ATEM with OBS and stream it live. I think it's a pretty stinking cool program. So I wanted to cover a little bit about OBS tonight. I get a lot of people that listen to my channel that wonder, you know, how they can afford. Let me turn my monitor back on. I shut this off tonight in between the show. So we'll fire that back up. So if you have any other questions, let's cover those before we get off the air tonight. Got to check on Ratso and see where he went to hide. Any other OBS questions? Showed you how to add filters. You can do filters on video and photos as well. You just do that by adding those down here. You have lots of different tools that you can use. An output timer. I haven't tried this function yet to see if it's a built-in timer. I'm sure it is. You have automatic scene switcher, captions. This is experimental. So there's captions now. There's an OBS web socket, scripts, which we did. So you can download different scripts and then those will run. That's how we're doing the countdown clock. It's basically a countdown timer using the text that we created to create a countdown timer. And just so you know, if I turn my countdown timer little eyeball off, and that's how you keep it, let's go like this. If I turn my little eyeball off right here, then it doesn't show up when I hit transition. If I turn the eyeball on my countdown timer back on, it just says Ratso because I actually cropped it. So it's not going to display that final saying. But if I hit transition now, it's going to continue at the beginning. So if I create a 3-minute countdown timer, every time I turn the eyeball off and transition like this, transition, turn it off, turn the eyeball back on again, transition, it starts at that 3 minutes and it runs all the way down. Now, if you want to record directly from OBS, which is how I do my intro and my outro reel, you just click the record button right here. It says start recording. I am now recording what I have on this screen right now, and that will record into a folder. So let's hit stop recording. As I've done this before, you want to find those recordings, go up to file in the top left. Click on Remux Recordings because it's a compressed file. Click on the little arrow right here to find the last recording. There it is. Here's my outro, intro videos for my post shows I recorded earlier today. Here's what we just recorded. I'm going to click on it, hit open. It puts it up here. Once I click Remux, it's going to re-encode it into a video file. Click OK, I'm done. Clear all settings, close this. Now if I go back up to file and hit show recordings, now I have the remuxed version right here. It's a MP4 file, and that could be played right now if I double click on it. It's going to replay what I recorded right here. I drag this into Premiere Pro. I add my flying logo to it, and then I render it QuickTime ProRes for my HyperDecks every single week for my live intros and my live outros and my post-show intro and my post-show outro. I do it right inside OBS. And that's how quickly you can record, you can remux it or re-record, uncompress it is what remuxing does. And then you can bring that file, go up and show recordings, find that file, drop it into a folder, bring it into Final Cut, bring it into Premiere Pro, bring it into DaVinci Resolve, add whatever effects you want, and then export it however you're going to broadcast it. And if you are broadcasting it in OBS, you can just play that MP4 file. If you want to bring it into a hyperdeck, you best render it as a QuickTime ProRes file, because that's all the hyperdecks seem to read. And then you want to make sure it's the same frame size, 1080p, which is 1920 by 1080, and the same frame rate that you're broadcasting at, so that it will play. So any other questions before we wrap up tonight and say goodbye? We have an Raspberry Pi to put together. We had Ratso tonight. We have a rap we need to have Fraser, my good friend, put some music to, thanks to Joe. And then we have the idea of me actually doing a short with Ratso, introducing my live streams. That's a great idea. Thank you for that, Tony. Any other input or questions that you'd like to ask tonight before we roll out? Any questions about the Insta360 Link camera or the face camera, which we talked about in the live show? I would be happy to answer that, or any other random questions. We are in the post show, and I do random questions. Then we'll get out, let you guys go eat dinner, go back to sleep, or like David down in Australia actually finishes early morning. Okay, I'm waiting for any last comments, questions in the chat. Last thing I see on there is Tony's Ratso rap, laugh out loud, love it. I love it too. I think I covered the jingle. So if I missed any of your questions, please ask them again right now while we're doing questions. And in the future, if you guys can put a Q before your questions, that will help me find you on the screen. That's easy for me just to scan through and look for anything with a Q. So again, as always, I appreciate you guys being live with me. I do plan on taking the unboxing portion of last week's live stream and putting it on my channel. I do have my Light Chaser video, should be out tomorrow at some point here on the channel. I may be recording a introduction to my next post show with Ratso as a video short. That would be fun. I'm sure I'd get a lot of views if I had Ratso in a short for sure. So thank you, Freddie. You have a great night too. Thanks for joining me. And I know you had business to do tonight, but I appreciate you taking time, each one of you, out of your day to be a part of my live streams. TVJ, let me know what day your live stream is going to be here in the chat, so other people can join you as well. Go over and check out their channels. I know Tony has a new video on his channel. You can go over and look at their channels. There's lots of channels represented here tonight. I'm trying to get over here with my mouse. Let's see, DJ Ware has a new video on his channel, so go check that out. Again, Tony has one. TVJ has a new live stream posted on his channel. AKL Polka, do you have a channel that we can go over and check out? Anybody else here? Freddie does not have a channel yet that I think of, but he's getting ready to do some stuff. That's exciting. Daniel Chow, it's good to have you here. I did not see you earlier. I don't think I've met you before. How to fix the new OBS 28? I guess you'll have to expand on that question. How do you fix the new OBS? I mean, the version? Right now I'm in 28.0.1, I think that's the issue, so make sure you do the latest update. It seems to be working fine for me. I do have to reboot OBS a lot sometimes. Once I create a link to a web camera in a scene as a source, a lot of times I have to shut down OBS and open it back up again. It seems to do slideshows and still images fine. I can even bring in web browsers, but I seem to always have to play with it to bring in things like a web camera. So keep that in mind. You may have to reboot OBS to get it to work. Awesome. Freddie's channel is going to be live this year. It's going to be in Spanish, of course. That will be exciting. I'll have to figure out how I can translate that. Maybe you have some help with that. For the rest of us, Freddie does speak pretty good English. I've been on Zoom with him before. That's exciting. So please check out his channel when it gets live. And Daniel Chow, if you have a channel, let us know here in the chat. That would be great to know. So I think I put a link to OBS here tonight. Did I not? So you can go in and download the latest version. Yeah, it's in the chat. I think, let me do one more link here in the chat before we go. I love, let's see. I think it's already in the notes. I will also put a link to the Manfrotto Super Clamp in the live stream from tonight. Not in the post show. And I think I do. Let's see. It is here. Pretty sure. Yeah, OBS channel. I love this guy's channel. That's where I learned to do a lot of things in OBS. So I'm going to put this in the chat tonight. So check out this guy's channel. I always go in there and do a refresher. He has a lot of different countdown timers available. There's even some websites you can go download a countdown timer, but this is actually a direct link to his original OBS countdown timer that I still use every single week in my live streams, and I really appreciate that he did that video. So check that link out later tonight. I do have replay of the chat available for you to watch it back. So we'll be back next week with only a live stream show, not a post show. And we'll be back with a post show in 2 weeks, as long as everything works out that way. I will have to spend some time in Yakima, so we'll see how that plays out. But I do plan on being home on my Tuesdays because my channel is a priority. So again, thank you guys so much for being here with me tonight. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, hit the like button. It really does help the algorithm. So if you like these conversations, hit the like button, please. Also ring the bell to get alerts. That's why I do that countdown timer. So hopefully YouTube is sending you alerts. And then you can also share the video. Like I just shared a link to someone who's influenced me. So please, when you think about something I've done on my channel, share it. I will make sure that Manfrotto video on my channel is in the live show information as well, so you can go back and find that Manfrotto video. And I also have some Manfrotto links available if you want to do that Manfrotto Super Clamp or the Auto Pull version 2. So, well, I think that wraps it up. I don't see any other questions. So thank you guys. Let's wrap it for tonight. I will see you next week. I am Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios. Stay safe, have fun, smile more. It will make your face hurt at first, but you'll feel much better. Peace. Outro, post show. Where are you? There you are. Good night.